All right, guys. So this week, the focus is to find resources or websites related to your topic and get as much information as possible to build on the stuff that you learned last week, the very basics. You want to get more specific now. So when you fill out this source analysis or Civil War text source analysis sheet this week, you're going to fill in the information. First, type your name here where it says name, not other people, just your name. For the investigative question, right here where it says pick one from the list, you should have access to the list here. If you click on the word list, it's going to bring you to the page with all the topics on it and your signed up name. So if you pick, for example, Andersonville Prison Camp, if you're one of these people, you have 3 different questions to pick from as your research question. Could be something either the most significant hardships that prisoners at Andersonville Prison Camp had to face. How did this camp differ from other prison camps? Or what were the conditions at the prison camp? You want to pick one of those questions, and you're going to type that here where it says investigative question. Just type that question here or copy and paste it. Website link or URL. Most of you know that the URL is the website address. So when you go and type in, for example, Andersonville Prison Camp, and the first site that pops up on Google, right here, this right here is the URL. You're going to copy and paste that to where it says website URL. And now you're ready to research. This site is dedicated completely to the history of the Andersonville prison. And you're going to make sure you copy and paste that URL link, sorry about that, here where it says URL. Now, there's some basic information about your source that you have to answer when you go through this. So first, it asks, is this source primary or secondary? So unless it is a quote from a Civil War soldier from the 1800s or 1860s, it is a secondary source. Most of your sources are probably going to be secondary. If you find primary, that's going to make your project a lot better, though. And next it asks, what type of document is this? So we have examples like a letter, newspapers, articles, encyclopedia, etc. Most of your online websites are probably going to be articles, so you're going to type article here. Real simple. Next, critical information. It says facts that will help you answer your question. What you want to do here, this is the really important part, is on that website, you go through, and I would say the best plan is to take a paragraph, read it, and then take from that paragraph, condense it, summarize it in a sentence here. So you want to type a sentence or two here explaining each paragraph. That way, you go through every paragraph, you've covered the whole source. So you want to type as much information as you can into this critical information. The more you know, the easier the project is. Now, if there's still something you're curious about after you've gotten all your critical information, the next box is what questions do you still have after analyzing this document? So here you would type maybe 2 or 3 questions, stuff that you're not quite sure about after researching, and maybe you want to learn more about, something that you're still curious about. So in the prison camp, they might have told you like what diseases killed the soldiers or how many died, but then you might ask, well, how were they treated? Were they treated well or not? If it didn't tell you that, you would type that as a question. And lastly, what conclusions can you draw from the source? This is where you say, I now know that, and you basically explain what you now know about your topic because you read a website dedicated to that topic. And so you want to add as much conclusions as possible. You want to prove that you did learn something from the source. So once you're done with that, you're done with this analysis sheet and research template, and you're going to turn that in. We're going to be doing this a couple of times between now and the middle of next week. So make sure you're getting all those different sites. And also make sure if you're in a group, talk to your group members so that you don't all do the same website. That's a very common mistake and you want to avoid. Everybody's got to do different sources if you are in a group. Can't make that clear enough. So make sure you're communicating, calling, FaceTiming, texting, whatever you have to do to chat. And remember, if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me over email. If you have trouble meeting up with your group and you want to do a video chat with them, let me know and I can set up a meet for your group throughout the week and you guys can meet to talk about stuff in your project, and I'll facilitate it. So just remember, reach out if you have any questions. I want to make sure you guys really know what you're doing. Nobody gets behind, okay?